Ooh, them some cold old hands. I'm just here breaking open the almost 60-year-old digits. Pseudo Jimmy. What's happening, fellas? I'm just warming up the hands. I'll wait for a few people to get here. Unfortunately, I do not have the prototype amp here. It's done, and it's not done, and I'll explain that here shortly. So I'm just going to play a little strat. We're going to talk about the prototype and talk about some other nonsense and have a little fun. I'll give you a full update on what's happening. Let's see here. Let me get my screen a little better. A little better, niche. A little better, a little better. Yeah, let's do this so that I'm able to read the comments and speak at the same time. Basil Tiffany, yes, this is a whiskey that is for sale for a very good price. If you want to message me here on Facebook, we'll talk about it. I can tell you the price. We're trying to get like $18.50 for it. It's brand new and it's hand wired. There's not many hand wired whiskeys out. I think we made 5 or 10 of them before we went to a printed circuit board. I like these a little better. They're more expensive to make, obviously, but full warranty and everything. But sometimes when I mention numbers on here, the algorithm picks it up and wants me to do sales tax, and it's just, I hesitate to say it on the show. And I've got my pedal board hooked up right now. There's just a little bit of echo on there. A little tight slap back. Gives it a little body. Here it is turned off. Back on. This makes it sound alive, right? Thank you, Basil. I look forward to it. Yeah, just here on Facebook. My email is danbull@me.com. Whatever you want. I'm easy. So one of the things, you can't hear the amp? Oh, really? Oh, don't tell me. Can you guys, is anybody else here can tell me, is the amp not coming through? It's coming through loud as hell on my headphones. No amp. Oh, Facebook is doing its thing. Hold on a second. And this is on, and I'm getting signal. I'm getting full signal. Son of a gun. Oh, we got one of those Facebook days. Shit, it sounds good too. Oh. You can't hear the amp. It's a whiskey. Darn it. See, the problem is if I start over, I lose all the connections and the link is different. Oh. Having issues. I'm going to click that. I'm on YouTube. It shouldn't matter. No amp sound. Yeah, I'm hearing that, guy. They're not hearing it. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this makes my blood pressure boil. Oh, this amp sounds good, too. Gosh darn it. Usually, YouTube is the most cooperative. I'm going into their help thing right now. Yeah, I could start all over and reconnect everything. Let's go into settings and see what it's saying. Camera, yeah, okay. Audio is my SSL. And the meter on here, I'm in StreamYard settings right now, and the meter's pegging. Let me kick it onto stereo audio and see if that makes a difference. Ah, I can't believe it. This amp sounds good. Yeah. Any different now? Well, I can turn my studio monitors on. You can hear it that way. It sounds great in my headphones. It sounds amazing. Let me see what I can do here. Crap, I'm sorry, guys. This happens once in a while. These are from my desk monitors. Yeah, this guitar sounds great too. What I was going to tell you and hopefully illustrate to you. This is the signal I'm sending to StreamYard and Facebook and YouTube. I don't know if you guys can hear that at all. It sounds great. I mean, the amp sounds great. Got a big fat Marshall sound. My mic's too hot now. It's going to feed back. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me turn it up a little more, see what I can get before it feeds back. Nothing like Smokey Robinson through a Marshall, is there? Tears of a clown. Yeah, I'm on a Strat. It's not a real hot Strat. The pickups are 7K or something. And I don't have the gain. Yeah, the gain's kind of on 7. If you run a humbucker in, it'll be a lot dirtier. Put a little compression on it. Compression really works, right? That's a UA 1176 pedal. I don't know how much is coming through on here. I'm really sorry, guys. Shit, this drives me nuts. But you can get that big endless sustain. And if I take the compressor off, the Barber Direct Drive. I don't have it on very hot. Just for a little bit of edge to it. Little clean booster after that. Anyway, I'm sorry. The one thing I don't have on my board yet, which I'm really excited, is this. Just came in today. It's by a company called Drybell. It's It's a vibe machine. It's basically an opto univibe. Like, you know, the big old univibes were optos. They weren't just a circuit going clickety, clickety, clack. There's actually a light bulb in there that goes up and down. And this has all sorts of adjustments on here, on the sides where you can do little tiny adjustments and really dial it in. It's got everything you need. A real univibe is something else, right? So I called our brother and best friend Peter Stroud. And said, hey man, because he's a total Marshall Hendricks guy. I said, what is the best univibe you've played with? And he said the Vibe Machine is the stuff. So I found one on Reverb. Peter always steers me in the right direction. And I got room for one more pedal on my board, and that's it. Scotty, hey man, how are you? Apparently I don't have guitar signal coming through today. It's coming through great on my system. This is the signal that I'm sending to the world through StreamYard, and apparently it's doing that crap it did 6 months ago, so I apologize. You're going to have to listen to me talk, and we'll just cut it short today because I know I can just bore the living crap out of people. Yeah, Basil, it's really pretty small. They have a version 3. Peter liked this version 2 for some reason. And it's got a jack for a pedal. So you can do an expression pedal, you know, speed it up, slow it down. Or if you want, just turn it off and on, you know, or do the switch. It's got a thing where you can ramp up the speed like a real Leslie cabinet. You know, it speeds up and slows down. You can do that. Anyway, I got this amp all dialed in. I was really happy to share it with you today. And then this nonsense happened. So one of the things I've been turned on to, I've been going over to visit Michael to Temple a lot. And going through my guitars, getting them all up to where they should be. And one of the things Michael's very adamant about are strings. He used to work for Ernie Ball starting in 1963 when Ernie Ball had a shop right here on Ventura Boulevard, not too far from here. I think Michael was in high school, like 15 years old or something. Anyway, one of the things he reminded me is back in the day, the strings were not nickel wrapped, they were pure nickel. And they sound different. And they're also a little sturdier strings. The other ones are cheaper to make, and they feel a little looser in your hands. But these are, I put nickel 9s on this Strat. This is the first time I've used 9s since I had a guitar with a Floyd Rose and a pointy headstock, which was like 1988, something like that. Last time I used 9s. But the nickel 9s kind of feel like 9.5s or in between 9 and 10 somewhere. But they have a beautiful, I'll show you the box. So you can see the difference. See where it says classic rock and roll super slinky? The classic is the pure nickel wrap, which is the old style string. And as Michael was explaining it to me, people got used to the new kinds of strings because we got into louder and heavier pickups. So when you have a 10K, 11K, 12K pickup, you lose top end. The higher the impedance on your pickup, the less top end you have. So those kind of skinnier, brighter strings sounded good with those. But now everybody's going back to low output pickups. And these old nickel strings just work, man. So I called up our friends at Ernie Ball. I'm actually acquaintances with Brian Ball, Ernie's grandson. I knew Sterling, but I just got introduced to Brian a couple years ago. Super nice people. They're up in San Luis Obispo. Anyway, all my guitars now suddenly sound, they sent me, I told them I was going to be using them on the show, so I got the bro deal. I got like 3 cases of strings. So I got 10s, 9s, and I have a hybrid set that's like light top, heavy bottom that I haven't tried yet. They threw in one of those little power winders too, which is really nice. if you can hear it because of this dumb setup. I was trying to show it to you because you guys know this is a guitar, right? This is my white custom shop, 1960 relic that has the Jason Lawler pickups and the Callahan bridge set and all that stuff. I'm going to take this and do the Mastodon nut too. I don't know if any of that's coming through, but man, this sounds like the coolest vintage Strat now. It sounded great before. I had no complaints until Michael really said, hey, you should really check out these pure nickel strings. I'm not trying to do a commercial for Ernie Ball. I'm just telling you. Honestly, I didn't really use Ernie Ball strings that much. Like Diodario. I just buy whatever's cheap, right? Anyway, it changes the character of the guitar for the better. It rolls off a little of the spiky high end as well. And this is a bright amp and it's a bright guitar. Hear that? I don't know if it's coming through or not. I can't believe this thing's not working. So I can't disconnect. If I disconnect, there's no way, like I can put up a whole new link and I'll lose everybody. That's not worth it. So I'm just going to keep it to a half hour today. So here's the good news. The prototype, hey John, thank you. The prototype's done, except for one little tiny thing. So, I spec'd out, designed, whatever you want to call it. And the engineers do the real designing. I just kind of do the spec. You can hear through the monitors. Good, Basil. Yeah, it's... I love that sound. I wish I had my Univibe. That's why I got it. I've been going through like a Hendrix period. And I finally decided, I never learned any Hendrix songs. I just play them by ear. And I never, because I always say, who's arrogant enough to try to imitate Jimi Hendrix? But I figure since I'm turning 60, and I figure my hands are going to get worse and worse, I'm going to spend some time being a student again. And but I need a Univibe for that. Can't do Hendrix without a Univibe. Anyway, I don't think I'll ever be good. I'm not saying that. I'm just having fun. But anyway, what I was getting at, which I may have completely lost the thread in my head. No, what the hell was I talking about? Jesus Christ, Dan. Anyway, the strings are really nice and it makes a big difference. And for the vintage sound that I like, it seems to be sort of the missing link. Like I go through all this gear and do all these things. And then Michael said, well, you should use the strings that they used to use back then. Because when the original Slinkies came out, that's all they were. They were just nickel wrapped. Now it's nickel and steel or something. I don't know what it is. It's a different formula that's less expensive and easier to make on a machine. So these original nickel ones, I think GHS makes one called Nickel Rockers, which are the same kind of thing. Rob Price says, I love the sound, but the pure nickel doesn't seem to last long. Yeah, they're softer. You get fret grooves. Oh, I haven't even noticed. I change strings pretty often, but not that often. I change strings like every month or 6 weeks or something like that. But yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I'm enjoying it. The sound for me is worth it. loving it. So I'm assuming once I get my my Univibe hooked up in here, oh, so the Proto, that's what I was talking about. You know what? This is just kind of silly. I'm going to turn my studio monitors off, but I need to put my headphones on to make sure that I'm actually speaking into the microphone. It's funny when you don't wear them, you end up, and you listen to the playback, you realize I wasn't talking into the microphone half the time. So this is not the Proto amp, John. I am sorry to tell you that. The Proto is finished except for one thing. So I designed or spec'd, whatever, a power transformer that had 5 different voltages on it because I want to play with some different voltages and see which ones we want to use. Mike has installed the transformer and each one of the taps works and they work great. The problem is we haven't designed a switching system to get through them all without just soldering a different thing on. So we've narrowed it down to 3 taps we're going to use. And we had to go get a couple of double pole, double throw, heavy duty switches, which took a couple days to get in. So I'll have it for you next week. These aren't regular off the shelf switches. These are high voltage switches. So you got to order them. They take 2 or 3 days to get here and all that stuff. So I apologize. I know I'm dragging this out and we need to hear it and we really want to hear it. Mike's doing his absolute best. He just moved his shop out to Chatsworth. So he's been really busy and he works, you know, he does some work for a couple other companies. So hopefully that won't be for too long. So anyway, it's there. In the meantime, I have this whiskey that we're selling to donate to the 65 Resurrection Fund. We're trying to go look for shops and do all this stuff. So as you know, we haven't got our funding yet. I think we're going to get the funding, especially when this prototype is finished. But in the meantime, it's a side hustle for everybody. And so we want to get a shop, you know, the kind of shop we're looking at, it's going to be about $4,000 a month. You know, 1,500 square feet in a decent neighborhood sort of thing. LA prices, right? I know if I were back in Columbia, Missouri, that would be $500. But it's Los Angeles and you got to pay to play. So anyway, if you want to buy an amp, it helps us. It helps us get to this goal quicker. And that's the end of my begging. I won't do that anymore. But I'm just letting you know that's what's up. So these are good prices. This amp, brand new, retailed for almost $3,000. This is a brand new one with a warranty for $1,850. And plus shipping. Sorry. Anyway, so the prototype amp is done and it sounds really good. I'm going to be very proud to show it. The thing that it does is that when you drop the voltage on it, it doesn't just go down in volume, it's actually adding more current to the power tubes, which even like that little Marshall I had out here last week doesn't really do. When you take it down to 5 watts, the current just drops too. It sounds really good. It's a good amp. Actually, I love that little amp. If that amp existed in 2002, Peter and I probably would have never gone into business. But it didn't. I gave an interview one time in, I think it was Premier Guitar magazine. I'm going to set this guitar down, sorry. I gave an interview in Premier Guitar magazine where I said, hey, if Fender and Marshall were still making good amps, we wouldn't be in business, which at the time was true. And I pointed out correctly, they know how to make good amps. They just kind of choose not to. And that is how I met Larry Thomas, who was then running Fender. he had some questions about that interview. We became really good friends. We're actually still friends. I mean like friends, actual friends, not just acquaintances. We do stuff together regularly. He's a super guy, and he's the guy that turned Fender around, right? You know, remember in the early 2000s, all of a sudden the custom shop started getting really good. And like that guitar that I just played, you know, the beginning of the Relics and all those things. Then there was the custom shop amps that were great. you know, and that was all Larry. He brought Gretsch and Guild into the company, built the Gretsch custom shop, really turned it into a high-end brand again. But anyway, the prototype amp, Mr. Dan. I should, unless something really comes up, things do come up, but unless something comes up, I should be able to play it for you next week. And I should be able to take it down. So it's a pair of KT88s, which at full voltage would be about 75 watts, right? I'm going to run them at 35 watts. I'm going to try to maybe run them down around 20 watts and then try to run them around 5 watts. And I'm going to go into the aux again. I have a 112 here with a vintage Celestion. I could play it. I just don't really have any good way to mic it up here, and other than this mic here, my Mojave MA200, which we can do a little room mic thing if you want. Problem is there's other people in the house. My wife's office is back there. Since COVID, we all work out of our houses, right? So I can't really make a lot of noise here. When we get the new shop, forget it. It's game on. We're going back to the live show with the live guitar like we used to do. So anyway, but when it drops down to 5 watts or 20 watts or even running at 35 watts, it's drawing a lot more current, which is what it's supposed to do, right? If you guys know the laws of electricity, Ohm's law, right? When voltage goes down, current draw goes up, and vice versa. When voltage goes up, current draw goes down. So on most amps, when they're dropping the voltage on it, they're dropping everything because the power transformer is not designed to deliver that much current. The one we designed is with Pacific Transformers down in Orange County. And they do the transformers for like Bogner and Divided by 13 and a bunch of other people. It delivers the current. It's a little big. It's not crazy heavy. Doesn't feel any different than a normal amp, you know. But anyway, it works, and it's delivering the current. So why do you care about that, Dan? Well, I don't know. Let me tell you. When you're throwing current at tubes, it's like putting oxygen on an animal. It's like sticking an oxygen mask on a racehorse. It can do a lot with all that extra oxygen, right? When your current is, tubes love current. Tubes love, they just die. Oh my God, they're so happy when you flood them with current. Voltage, not so much. They hate voltage. Voltage distresses the tube. So if we drop the voltage and up the current appropriately, I can ask the tube to do a lot of things that I couldn't do before, but also it just works better. You hear more, there's more detail, there's more nuance, there's more texture, but 51% of that is they don't blow up. It's, even with the producer series where we dropped a 50 watt amp down to about 35 watts, you can put your hands on the tubes without getting burnt. That's kind of unusual. That doesn't happen a whole lot. So that's quite the difference. So with this new amp, and I have a call right after this with the guys at TuneOut, we're going to start integrating in more stuff. But this is step one. And is to get the high current, low voltage thing going, make it reliable, make it affordable. And then after that, we're going to start integrating load box with an IR loader. And then beyond that, we're going to go to things I can't talk about yet. But all of these amps will be for sale along the way. So at appropriate prices. So the very first amps we're going to make are going to be a few hand-wired amps. They're going to be expensive, and there are not going to be many of them. Our goal is to turn them into production amps pretty quickly. So if you want to buy like this whiskey is hand-wired. There's only 5, maybe 8 of them, because we decided to go printed circuit board, but we had to build some to make sure they work. And so I personally like this one a lot. This, you heard it. Well, you sort of heard it. I'll play it again next week if no one buys it. Sounds really good. Really, really good. So that's what we're going to do with this new amp. We're still thinking about names. If you guys want to propose names for it, you know, we've done. Excuse me, itchy nose. We've done some names that are. What is that? We've done some names that are locations. You know, London, Soho. Rob Price has a hand-wired whiskey. Yeah, you can talk to this. Absolutely. Yeah, they're good. They're really good. We use a little different components in the hand-wired one than we ultimately did on the production one. Not much. I mean, the Sozo caps, but I think we went with metal film resistors everywhere instead of carbon compers. The mint julep. I declare that's a fine name for the amp. It goes with a whiskey. Yeah, Basil, that works for me. Yeah, we went metal film resistors because the carbon comp resistors don't pass inspection. And so for printed circuit board amps, it's a lot easier to get inspection when you're getting them manufactured. So that might end up be the case on the other ones. I don't know. There's some good metal films now that sound really good. It's not really a compromise. It's just different. It's up to you what you like and don't like. I don't think there's any right or wrong. I know a lot of really fantastic amps that use nothing but metal film resistors. Dumble. All of his amps were nothing but metal film resistors. They work great. So, anyway, I like the mint julep, Basil. That's good. Who else has got a name? You guys want to jump in? I'm so sorry the sound didn't work right today. I have no rhyme or reason as to why that happens once in a while. It's just one cable. I just have one cable going into my computer. You know, it's a USB-C cable coming out of my SSL. I have an SSL 12, you know, a little 4-channel interface. Meters are pumping even on the software. It seems to be working fine. I don't know. Let me go into the UA software and see. Yeah, it's all working fine here. Let's see, there's the SSL software. Let me turn that on. Oh, I have an update. Maybe that's the problem. Anyway, I'm sorry for the disappointment. I'm extremely disappointed. But anyway, life is fun. Worst case is next week you get to hear me with my new Univibe pedal. I'm not going to come on here and start playing Hendrix shit for you. Don't worry. I'm not that. What's the word I'm looking for? Stupid. Hi, Randy Krath. How are you, Rev? Life is good. I hope you're well. Good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm well. I got technical issues today. The guitar's not coming through. Remember that? From StreamYard, it started doing it again. And it's been fine for a while, and now the same issue is back. So, poopy duty, as they say. I'm trying to figure out what's up. My SSL interface is telling me I need to do an update. So I'm going to do that while we're here. And see if it can suddenly come to life. That would be interesting. I don't think it's going to. Nothing usually happens dynamically. The Dartford as an amp name. Yeah, Dartford is where Vox was from. It's also where Keith Richards, a little itch on the bottom of my nose. That's where Keith Richards grew up. I know Dartford from when I lived in London. It's kind of okay now. I think, as I understand it back then, no devices connected. Ooh. That's probably what's happening. I probably need to restart my computer. Son of a gun. Well, I'm sorry. You know, normally I just kind of turn everything on and it works. I should have probably started from scratch today, and I wasted your time. I apologize. Yeah, the Dartford's pretty good. I don't know if this is necessarily an English vibe, but yeah, could be. I'll take that. Works for me. Works for me, mate. Interesting. Frustrating day. I apologize. So before I sign off, I'm going to go ahead and just bug out early because, well, to be frank with you, I'm kind of pissed off. Unless you guys got some stuff you want to talk about, you got any questions, any themes, any subjects, any jokes that you want to go through before I sign off? I know there's a big lag here. It seems today the lag is really bad. So I'll hang out here for a few minutes and see what kind of answers you got. We have some people here, not that many today. I think it's because the guitar's screwing up, but yeah, I'm not cool, man. I don't understand what's happening here. It said no devices connected. Why would it do that? Why would it do that? Yeah, I guess it's because I need to punt and restart. Poopy. Did you end up getting tubes last week? I didn't go get any KT66s. I should. I kind of got talked out of it. But I should do that anyway, just for fun. Yeah, it was last week. So last week I tried EL34s, KT77s, and then I ended up with some mid-60s XF2 Blackburn Mullard EL34s, which those sound like amazing. And then I put this speaker I bought off of Reverb's early 70s 55 hertz cone Rolla Celestion M. I put it in the 65 112 cab, which is kind of deep. And there's your amp name, Restart. Call it the Reboot. It actually might be kind of Restart's kind of a relevant name, actually. Maybe there's something to that. Hey, Mike Leaptrod, how are you, buddy? Finally able to tune in. Sounds great. The guitar signal's not coming through this week, and I can't track it down other than I probably have to restart my entire system, which blows this whole thing. You wouldn't be able to find me. And it'd take me about 10 minutes in StreamYard to reset up a new, it's not worth it. So today you get to hear me talk. I did play guitar earlier, but it was just people hearing my studio monitors through this Mojave mic that I have, which is a really nice mic, but not the best way to mic up a guitar. There is a Harmonious Monk tremolo waiting for me at home. Oh, new pedal day is great. New gear day is great. Peter, I was texting with Peter this morning. He's getting some cool new stuff too from Two Notes, and we're like total nerds sharing our pictures. Like, look at us, like we're in 9th grade. Yeah, my pedal board is done, and I don't really think I need anything else. I don't run a big complex pedal board. So this thing, the Vibe machine is, the Univibe, most people used it on the chorus setting, and it's the best chorus ever because it's opto instead of just an oscillator circuit. And then with an expression pedal, you can drive it like a Leslie cabinet. So, Danny Likey. Anyway, seriously, what do you guys want to go into? Tariffs? Want me to tell you how the tariffs are going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with F. Going to hurt our business, hurt our world. And you think about people like, oh boy, Guitar Center. You don't need any more gear. I don't even know what that means. What language are you speaking, Mike? Really? You don't need any more? I don't. Gobbledygook. You sound like the teacher on Charlie Brown. What? Wah, 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 wah. I don't. Sorry, Mike. Can you type clearer, please? Anyway, Guitar Center, Sweetwater, Amazon, anybody that sells gear. 90% of what you see in all these stores is made in China, whether you like it or not. Even some big name boutique amps. You just bought another guitar last month. Oh, congratulations. Hey, we're all sitting here going, yeah, cool. How about that? Some big name boutique stuff are all made in China. The chassis is stuck into a wooden cabinet here in the U.S., but it's Chinese. And that doesn't mean it's bad. The Chinese make Apple computers, it's fine. There's good factories in China and not so good factories in China. They're not all the same. But 145% tariff at wholesale. What do you think that means for retail? It's not 145%. It's 300-400%. by the time it gets to retail. People don't just pass along cost penny for penny. They make a profit. Yeah, Michael Branson says Gibson's will go up to pay for the tariffs on the Canadian-made cases unless they start making them here again, which is they can do depending on how much the tariff is, if it's worth it or not. It's frightening stuff, I got to admit. And just as I'm getting 65 going back again, holy crap. Well, we weren't ever going to make anything in China, but definitely going to go overseas eventually. Most of the parts in these amps are American. There's certain parts I can't get here. I can't get made here. They just don't make them. You push it up to 240. Jesus, I thought it was 145. I don't get it. Anyway, so double or triple that. That's what it's going to end up being at retail. Neat, huh? I don't know if you know how business works, but people sell things at a profit. So if I buy something for $100, and then tomorrow it costs me $200, and I sell it for $300. And if I buy it tomorrow and it costs $245, I have to sell that for $600 at least to make the same kind of profit margin. So it's a lot of pain. A lot of pain. I'm very worried. Like, none of these retailers are going to go out of business, but you'll see them change a lot. There are companies that do make everything in the United States. There's not that many of them, and they're not cheap. None of them are cheap. You know, Paul Reed Smith's top-end stuff, Gibson, a lot of Fender stuff. Fender makes a lot of guitars overseas. Probably most of their guitars, but the custom shop stuff and, you know, some of their higher-end American stuff is here. It's really going to hurt. You know, this is made in the Czech Republic, so I don't think we have tariffs with Czech Republic. God damn it. So, yeah, Mike, you nailed it right there. I think everybody would like to see the United States be more self-sufficient and be as smart as they can, but, you know, manufacturing stuff overseas improves all of our quality of life. I don't know how old you guys are, but I remember, like, before flat screen TVs came out, you know, we were all still buying tube televisions, either made in Japan or made here in the U.S. The European ones were so expensive they never got here. But I bought a Sony Trinitron, 27-inch Trinitron in the late 90s. Really nice TV. Might have been about the best TV you could buy at the time. And it was $2,800 in 1997, you know, something like that, 98. Whatever that is in today's money, $4,000 or something. For a 27-inch television. Now, I just replaced the television in my living room with a LG OLED, like the nicest thing they make. OLED, 77 inches, from Best Buy on special. They came here and mounted it. It has a sound bar and a subwoofer and some satellite speakers, and it was like $1,800. And I could have got an 86-inch television that was not OLED for $800. Contrast that with a 27-inch tube television that took 2 people to lift up. I mean, I think it weighed easily 200 pounds. It was stupid. 150 pounds if it weighed an ounce. Took 2 guys to install it, just to bring it into my house and set it in my furniture. In today's money for $4,000. So that's what stuff costs when you make it here in the United States. Our workers, hi Lorenzo, how are you, buddy? Our workers don't work for cheap. And, you know, since COVID, they call those your input costs, right? Your labor and materials and things like that. Our input costs have gone up dramatically since COVID. I don't know where you live in California. The minimum wage is, or in LA County, the minimum wage is $20 an hour. Even at $20 an hour, an iPhone would cost $5,000. You know. So anyway, I hope this works out. I hope it's just a big game of chicken. and their intention all along was just to shock people into doing something. I don't know what. I studied economics in college pretty intensely. It's my minor. I could have had my degree in economics. I chose political science because I was going to law school, but I had enough hours where I could have had either one. They don't do dual degrees there, so I had to pick. It's right over here. It says, oh no, it's up there. There it is. Right next to my grandfather up there. So I took a lot of classes in economics. Trade wars and tariffs and stuff. Yeah, Oswald, you're correct. But trade wars and tariffs and all that kind of stuff historically have always been disasters. Um, there's little mild tariffing here and there. Like we tariff, I know for a fact, the U.S. tariffs Irish butter. Because Irish butter is so much better and it's cheap that they have to tariff it. Otherwise, nobody would buy American butter. And but it's little stuff like that. It's not 150% on cars. Oh my God. Anyway, fingers crossed. I'm an eternal optimist, so I always tend to think it's going to work out and be okay. Oswald Bates says the U.S. created what trade looks like in Earth. For those of us turn around and say the other have taken advantage of us is just a lie. Yeah, there's some fundamental misunderstandings in the stuff that I see on television. Like they talk about we have a trade deficit or a trade imbalance with someone. That just means we buy more of their stuff than they buy of ours. Fingers crossed, John, you're right. Which isn't a bad thing. For example, we buy a lot of stuff. Let's go with the Irish butter. Let's just talk about that. Ireland, I think, the Republic of Ireland has a population of 5 or 6 million. So naturally, we're going to buy more of their stuff than they're going to buy of ours because we have 330 million people. So what is that, 64, 65 times the population? So having a trade imbalance with them is natural. The only time it wouldn't be natural is if we were trading with a country that was the same size, had a similar GDP, and made similar products. Michael Branson, that's a good name. Yeah, I like that a lot. And your whole thing. If you want to set all that up for me, I'll give you a free amp. This is great. Anyway, I'll get off the economics talk. Having a trade deficit or a trade imbalance is not a big deal. Like Madagascar is where Oswald Bates says, I have a trade deficit with Amazon. That's right, so do I. Madagascar makes all the vanilla in the world. And the average salary in Madagascar, I think, is $13,000 a year. And they have a population of like 1 million people. So we put a huge tariff on them because there's a trade imbalance. As if Madagascar could buy the same anyway. It's not. There's a fundamental misunderstanding that I don't get. So I'm going to read Michael Brown. I'm going to put it on the screen because it's so good. I like it. And I got a friend of mine that lost all of his gear. This is great, Michael. Thank you for this. Name the new amp the Palisades and donate a portion of the sales to a fund that supplies grants to musicians that lost gear and their livelihood to the fire. I know a few of those guys. There's a friend of mine, Dan Kalisher, who plays steel guitar, who lost everything he owns up in the Altadena fire. And he plays steel guitar on American Idol. He got a gig there. And they're paying him, and it's helping him get back on his feet. This is the way you, 1, resurrect 65, 2, help fellow musicians, 3, create a tax shelter for the resurrected business. I like it. It's a great idea. And I like where you're coming from a lot. Like, that's really good, man. Kudos to you, buddy. That's Danny Likey. Landau lost a bunch of stuff. Oh, did he really? I didn't know that. Hopefully he had insurance. Most of these guys have insurance. But Landau probably had a lot of really nice gear. He's here in Studio City, I think. or look Coldwater Canyon or something like that. There's not very many fires, but I'm sorry if I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's a bummer. I know a few people out in the Palisades that lost everything. A couple people in the Altadena fire. It's very frightening. Thankfully, I don't live in a fire zone. I'm in the middle of LA, but the San Fernando Valley is not a fire zone, so we don't really get floods. Happy to be on the board. Okay, we'll give you an honorary seat, Michael, for your ingenuity and creativity and thoughtfulness. That's really good. I like that a lot. One of my partners might actually be here watching. Mark is here a lot, and he might latch onto that idea as well. The other thing that I got going on is I'm doing a side project with Lorenzo. I'm sorry, buddy. You lost half your gear to a fire. I'm sorry. It's very frightening, isn't it? Really, really frightening stuff. I'm doing a side project with Dusty Wakeman and David Royer. Yeah, Mike, you're right. Insurance can't replace the countless hours of collecting your gear. You just get a check. So if you got some really special sentimental instruments, check doesn't matter. It doesn't help. But anyway, I'm doing a project with Dusty Wakeman at Mojave and David Royer, where we are going to make some guitar products with sub-miniature tubes, you know, the little sub-minis. Make little bitty amps and pedals and everything else. And we just got the working prototype going this week. It's the week of prototypes. I was over there playing it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. And Oswald Bates says, Dave Friedman said the Coma guitar was lost. What's the Coma guitar? Pardon my ignorance. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. I feel embarrassed. Don't make fun of me. Don't mock me. Anyway, I like the idea of helping fellow musicians here in LA quite a bit. And I feel kind of remiss for not thinking of that. So thank you again, Michael. That was really good. What's the Coma guitar, Oswald? I know there's a lag here. I'm sorry. I'm just impatient. It's funny how sometimes when I don't play guitar, the audience gets bigger. What does that mean? Oh, one of Landau's famous guitars. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's... Hey, Tom. How you doing, Tom Minrath? How you been, man? Nice to see you. That's the dual hum... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen that guitar in person many times. I didn't realize it was called the Coma guitar. Pardon my... I just fell off the turnip truck over here. Yeah, I like that a lot. Anyway, we're going... Once I play this prototype, two things will happen. I'll get a shop, and you won't have to look at me in this junk room that is my office right now. But we'll have a shop, and we'll be doing real stuff, and we'll start going into production, and everything's good. So when I have this prototype done next week, we're actually going to be able to pitch. And we've got a few people that are just waiting for that. Show me a working prototype, and we're off to the races. So send all your good vibes my way. I'll take it. Anyway, how you been, Tom? I don't think I've talked to you in a decade. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. Anyway, I'm going to hang it up here in a minute. I'm so sorry. Something went wrong technically. I don't know why the guitar signal's not coming through. This is what it did, remember, 6 months ago. And I had to quit using StreamYard because of it. And I submitted, hey, StreamYard, are you listening? I submitted trouble ticket after trouble ticket, never got one response. Anyway, I'll shut everything down and try it again and see what happens. Fingers crossed. I don't know why it would suddenly do this, but I was stunned when you guys said, hey, I can't hear the guitar. I'm like, oh, it sounds so good. I mean, it does. It sounds really good, even though that amp's dusty, apparently. Look at that. Oh, who does that? What kind of slob? Anyway, doing great, man. Good, Tom. Well, thanks for dropping by. Kind of a dud of a show. I apologize for that. Nice conversation with everybody. Great idea from Michael. Michael Branson. That's really good, man. I appreciate that. Maybe we can get some other manufacturers or businesses here in LA to join in on that. Yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. It's really sad. I haven't driven out there yet because I don't know that I can. I want to go look at the Palisades and see what it looks like, but you guys know that I'm a golfer too. I don't like golf culture, the whole cocktails, mulligan. I hate that shit, but I love the game. I love hitting the ball. I like the physics of hitting the ball. I like walking around in the sunshine in the grass and all that stuff. I grew up in Missouri, so golf's not a real posh game there. It is here. But anyway, one of my happiest places on earth was Riviera Country Club, which is out in the Palisades. And as I understand, it wasn't touched. They had private firefighters out there, and they have their own water supply and everything. So I think the area, the houses and everything that were around Riviera are okay. I don't know if you saw the movie about Howard Hughes, Leonardo DiCaprio. He was supposed to be landing at Wilshire Country Club in there where he crash landed one of his planes on a golf course. But they've shot the scene at Riviera. So anyway, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Yes, you did have a little game last week here in Augusta. Are you in Augusta, Mike? Is that where you live? It's a beautiful little town. I love it. Yeah, what a Masters for you golfers. Oh, my God. I was sick to my stomach and freaking out the whole time. Turned out good, though. I'm happy with the result. Rory needed to get the monkey off his back, and everybody leave that poor kid alone. Let him just play golf and have fun. Poor guy's been, oh, I didn't know that, Mike. Well, maybe I need to come out there and fix your amp. But yeah, no, the Masters. I'm in the lottery every year, and I never get a ticket, Mike. I try. My wife's from Atlanta, and she has family that live not in Augusta, but out that way. So we could easily get to the tournament every day. We just can't get tickets. It's hard to do. Anyway, wonderful result, wonderful golf tournament, lots of fun. Guitar players don't care about that, so I won't talk about it. I have several friends that go, man, you should start a golf show too, because you're so into it. All that stuff. But anyway, I'm going to run. I apologize sincerely for this not working today. And I want to show you the prototype next week. And if this is going to keep doing this, I'm going to be extremely unhappy. But anyway, I'm going to bowl. Oh, look, people are dropping off. I start talking about golf later. See ya. Don't know shit about golf, but it seems... I had to put that on the screen. Yeah, Lorenzo, it's an acquired taste. Like, watching golf on TV is no fun unless you play golf, right? So, I started playing golf when I was a toddler with my dad, because didn't have money for babysitters. And my parents are pretty young. They were like 21 when I was born, which is normal in Missouri in the 60s. So if my dad was going to play golf, I wanted to be with my dad. So I went to play golf. And my dad and I played golf the whole time I lived there. It's my favorite memories of childhood, playing golf with my dad. And these were all public courses. None of this posh, snooty, elitist crap at all. These are guys with, their shirts off and a 12-pack stuffed in their bag and telling dirty jokes, like that kind of thing. Yeah, grip it and rip it, just like power chords. That's right. There's a lot of golfers that are musicians and vice versa. Out here, like all the guitar players I know play golf. There's something about it. Yeah, Doug, it was a great Masters, wasn't it? I was very happy with the outcome, but I just enjoyed the tournament. There's so much drama and so much, oh my God, he's going to win. Oh my God, he just blew it. Oh my God, he's going to win, Scott Smoothie, my golf style is more Happy Gilmore. Right on, man. Hey, do you have fun playing golf? That's all I care about. Like, I do play, I don't belong to a country club, but I have friends that do, that take me a lot. But I do, I also play a lot of public courses here in LA and out in Ventura County too, especially. It's just great. I just love the game. Something about it. And I also like the fact that it's the only game where you call penalties on yourself. You have to kind of be honest versus most sports where they're just trying to get away with it behind the ref's back, It's fun, but man, when you connect, it's so fun to just launch a ball and say bye-bye. It's really cool. I like hitting things. That's about it. Anyway, I should go. It's 1 o'clock. I have a 1:15 meeting. Between now and then, I need to grab a quick snack and something to drink. So, well, thank you guys for bearing with me today. We actually held a reasonable crowd. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that you had to just listen to me talk. I know that is a... Yeah, Justin Rose was incredible, Doug. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy for Rory. He got the monkey off his back, and he can go on and live his life now. People beat that kid up so much. Yeah, you'd love to see Italian soccer players calling penalties on them. Yeah, it doesn't happen in any other sport. You know, that's it. Only in golf. And I like that for some reason. I don't know why it matters, but I get a kick out of it. It's fun being honest. Is that weird? Am I a nerd? I don't know. Could be. Anyway, I got to go. I love you guys. Thanks for sticking around today. I got headphone hair, baby. Oh my God. What's happening? I'm letting the hair grow back out, by the way. I'm tired of looking like a banker. Not full on hippie long, just going back to having some appropriate hair. Anyway, I'm out of here. I love you guys. Thank you again for being patient. Hopefully next week is different. All right. It is a gentleman's game, Doug. That's why I love it. Okay, guys. To be continued. See you next time. Thank you again. Have fun.